Thank you very much, T-Man. An incredible game to actually break down, and I think very impressive from Royal Club to bounce back from that very heavy-handed defeat. Let's pull up the team comps graphic that we got prepared. I personally was not sold by the limited amount of damage Royal Club are putting forward onto the table. I was proven wrong, but Crepo, talk me through some of the thoughts you had.
Yeah, I actually like the comp that Royal Club gets if you can get to the late game. I know there's a lot of questions regarding that, and me and Monty were heavily going back and forth, so I'll let him decide that later. I just want to talk about like the Thresh coming out here and just Zero doing really well on that champion because he was playing what I call forward. He was constantly fishing for hooks while Cloud was trying to be defensive and reactive with bindings. And I have this theory right now that like if you ban either Janna or Thresh and you pick the other, your chances to win a game have just incredibly just increased so much.
Yeah, and this is Cloud's only like second game on Morgana. He played it. He was 0-4-10 in LPL Summer. He lost that game. He looked really uncomfortable on this champion. Now, I really like this draft for OMG. And I think that especially Royal messed up a bit in their bans. They banned Alistar, then Ryze, then Zillion. If I was Royal, I would have actually banned Ryze last because that made a very easy pick ban for OMG where they were guaranteed to get that Lee Sin first. If you hold off on that Ryze, ban the Zillion second, all of a sudden with the last ban, they're going to have to choose, do we ban Lee Sin, do we ban Ryze? And then there was that reactive ban, and Royal could have taken out both of those. Now, this composition, too, very strong in the mid-game, and if they hadn't, I know Kobe was just touching on this, if they hadn't horribly misplayed that Baron, tried to start it 4v5 when Sun wasn't even there, I think we would have been looking at an OMG win.
And the problem, though, with that game was the Mundo, and you guys talked about, oh, can you get to the late game? Well, to be honest, the two big physical damage dealers of OMG severely misplayed their road into the late game. Corki built his Infinity Edge last, 44 minutes and 40 seconds, when the AD carry finishes the most important item in an AD carry's build, Edge. He built it. Last was for second. First of all, horrible. Second of all, like Ruin King third. So he didn't have a way to kill the Mundo, who's absorbing everything. And I also think as well, when you face a comp like this, just go Zergreaves instead of Sork Shoes. Forget Caster Corki. You've got to burn down a target with your DPS. And okay, fine, go Triforce, but go Zergreaves, go Edge second, do all that. Cool as well. Built Hex Drinker fourth. After he's done to the laning phase versus a magic damage dealer, could have also built Infinity Edge, already had max hypercharge, double IE will destroy Dr. Mundo, and suddenly, Gordon has another bad game.
Double F, do you agree with the item rant here from Freak?
The item rant was good. I agree with what Freak said. I just like to see Royal Club play things like Lucian and Twitch, because the heart of Royal Club really is Uzi. They shouldn't be picking champions like Tristana because they have such a steep power curve. It's like, oh, they're crap early game, they're like okay mid game, and then they get really good late game. It doesn't make any sense because if the heart of your team is going to be pushing forward on these dragon fights and in these like engagements and skirmishes, then they need to have a steady curve just like Lucian and Twitch do.
Yeah, so let's get to the first replay that we do have. The early game went a lot more even than we see from game number one. Crepo, I know you quite liked some of the engages, and it was quite a clean fight for OMG, but take this one over.
So yeah, what's going to happen in this replay is basically, I just want to highlight what the difference can be between a won and a lost teamfight and how close it can be. So if we roll the clip right now, we see Zero approaching, and you see how much offensive zone he's putting. He's constantly walking forward, fishing for hook, and once again, he will find, I think, leveling again, and he wants to proc the hook for a 4-man play or like a couple-man play, but he just can't because he's stuck bound, and that actually leads to Corn overextending because Thresh can't close that gap, can't lantern anybody in. Corn is stuck on the other side, and then once Corn drops, doesn't get utility from his ultimate, everybody just ends up dying, and it's sweet for OMG. But I feel like if he's able to proc that hook and get his team closer in the fight, he could have done a lot more there.
The idea was good because you should be looking for flanks against Rumble so he doesn't get a 5-man ultimate, but you can't flank 4-1. You have to actually split your team 3-2 to make it safe.
So the rest of the game played out a little bit more slower paced, I feel. OMG, they didn't really push. We talked about their Baron calls significantly.
Yeah.
They just didn't make use of the poke. What was the big key sort of turning point that allowed Royal Club to back in the game or take control?
Honestly, the fact that OMG didn't do very many smart things. They had a good early mid-game lead. The item builds were in front of them. They didn't pick them. They had the ability to just play Siege and throw rockets, bindings, and shock blasts at people, and there's no good way in. And they're like, here, just come fight us at Baron instead.
I think the elephant in the room really is just the poor vision control. You saw like a lot of free wards that Royal Club was able to place. That really shouldn't be happening. And the fact like that they don't have 5 pink wards surrounding Baron area and kind of a concave means that their vision control is really lackluster and they're not able to set up these picks that you saw in Samsung White vs. Blue.
I do like that Royal did their research on the warding around Baron from OMG. They swept out those little wards around the corner. However, OMG got surprised with that one ward in the Baron pit, and that led for like a really awkward exchange and just repetitive like Baron fights.
Right, so we actually do have a Baron fight here. If we want to pull up the replay, it's about 30 minutes in. It is one of the many Baron fights that tend to go fairly poorly here. So go ahead and roll the clip out. Now, the OMG thing they do smart here is actually wait until the TP finishes. They don't want to get baited out by this. They want to kind of bait him into this battle. Okay, now they run away with a shock with Acceleration Gate. This should be smart. Problem is, Cloud, Black Shield's late, gets caught in by the Flay, gets basically 1v4'd and dies for free. And now you're willingly battling a 4v5 with Pula taking the front line, Equalizer misses as well. At this point, cut your losses and run. There is no way you win this battle anymore. The going stays in. Lovely and Cool still trying to make plays, but as you were talking about, Crappo, the hooks are so damn good.
Zero's playing is so well.
And Cool's gonna die right here.
Yep.
So Crappo, talk me through some of the decisions now. This was the team fight that got Starhorn Royal Club back into the game. Uzi, a little more tempered this game. Still aggressive, but a little less so than we've seen from game number 1.
See, what I like here is that it's no longer Uzi running in up front and everybody like following him Mighty Duck style. No, it's actually finally like Zero is constantly running up quickly. Then they speed up the Mundo. They have the Pixie on him for the proxy slows. His team is moving forward, and that allows Uzi the freedom behind his tank line. And this is why I like a tanky top laner when you have a such a hyper carry like Uzi.
Yeah, and I think we'd be remiss without talking about Korn's Lulu a little bit here because he constantly messed up his ult.
Yeah.
Ulting the wrong target, looked really uncomfortable on that champion.
But the few he did get off stopped the insects.
Interestingly, when seeing Lulu in the World Championships, 1-9 as far as stats go in the top lane, 4-0 in terms of the mid lane. Regardless of the performance, guys, we do need to move this one on. Starhorn Royal Club has now even the series to 1-1, and as we've seen, Uzi and his teammates have experience in matchups that go the long haul.
Uzi will tumble away, but the Nexus is open for the taking. We're going to game 5.
And here we are now, one game to decide which team from the LPL makes it to semifinals.
然后让我感到非常的害怕吧，因为我当时都感觉已经必赢了。
3경기 때 진 거 때문에 일단 멘탈이 조금 금갔었는데 4경기 때 한 번 더 지고 나서 되게 많이 위험하구나, 이번에 4강을 못 갈 수 있겠구나 이런 생각을 많이 한 것 같아요. 그래서 그런 쪽으로 우지가 특히나 저번 시즌 결승 한번 갔던 사람으로서 멘탈이 더욱더 나은 것 같아요.
Uzi was completely unable to make an impact in that last game.
I can't see the rest of his team, but
I think they've left.
I think they've all left.
Really have to
Uzi's
wonder.
devastated.
Can history repeat itself for Uzi? There's so much pressure on him.
因为当时前面输掉比赛以后，就让我心态就没有那么好，然后就躺在那里想了很久。
자기가 빨리 수습하길 빌어야지. 제가 뭐 관리한다고 해서 멘탈이 회복되는 게 아니기 때문에 그냥 멘탈이 회복되길 빌었어.
그가 충분히 다시 잘해질 거라고 생각하고 있었어요.
Go, meet him. Korn still trying. There's the jump from Uzi. He's going for Zoro. Blows him away. Gets the jump. Gets the reset. Uzi. He stays alive here. Stun to Uzi. Quick Nova Sat. Kill for Uzi. Nami gonna be locked up. Nami goes down. They dive on him. Triple death for Uzi. It's Royal Club. They're doing the hard way. Will go through to the semi-finals.
因为在中国，就是我们一直都认为中国队可能都不会进决赛，但是这次都不会改变 S3那个激怒嘛。然后这次我们又有机会改变，就非常开心。